Most homeowners are interested in improving their homes, but unfortunately, not everyone can afford the heavy price tag that sometimes comes with these home remodeling projects. Well, today, Sarah Kreps from Hearth is here to teach you why you should always offer financing options to your customer and how doing so can actually help you improve close rates and grow your average ticket price. Let's dive right in. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Tools of the Trade episode. Today I am joined by Sarah Kreps, who is the Business Development Manager over at Hearth. Sarah, thank you so much for being with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Mark.
Awesome. I'm really excited about this presentation that you've put together for us, Sarah, because financing is a huge part of business today. And if you're not offering it, well, you're missing out. But more importantly, we are going to be talking about technology, right? Financing and technology, because Hearth is first and foremost a tech company. So before we get into the presentation, Sarah, I'd like to give you the opportunity to just tell us a bit about yourself and then a little bit about Hearth, and then we can jump right into the presentation.
Sounds great. A little bit of background on myself. My name is Sarah Kreps. I'm the Business Development Manager over here at Hearth. And Hearth is a financing technology company. So we're a financial toolkit for home improvement contractors. We offer contractors the ability to send pre-qualification forms and lending options to homeowners that they're selling projects to.
Awesome. And for those listening, Sarah has been in the industry for a couple of years. She's worked for other well-known companies in the space. Maybe Sarah touched a little bit about your background for us.
Yeah. So mostly worked always with home improvement contractors, especially in the residential space. Spent some time at Home Advisor as well as Modernize, really advising contractors of all size on best way to utilize marketing through their sales funnel.
Awesome. Good. Well, we're glad to have you, Sarah. Let's have you share your screen and we'll jump right into the presentation.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mark, again for giving us some time to chat with contractors just about Hearth and really the financial toolkit that we're looking to provide contractors with. A little bit of background on financing and the space. As you touched on, Mark, if contractors aren't offering monthly payment and financing options to homeowners, you're really just missing out on low-hanging fruit. Right now, especially with the pandemic, I'm sure as you guys have seen as well, home improvement spending is up, I think it's it looks like 22.6 year over year nationwide. As everyone with COVID was sitting in their homes, looking around, kind of deciding, I'm not sure I love this kitchen, or wow, this paint color is abrasive on my eyes. We've really seen homeowners start to look around and really make adjustments on their project. I think another super exciting point and why it's important to be offering homeowners monthly payment options right now is that personal debt has decreased nationwide. So as people have used, their stimulus checks and unemployment, really we've seen credit card balances decrease by, 14% by people staying home. We've seen credit utilization is down pretty significantly. And then we've also seen credit score rising pretty, at least 1% across the nation, which is really, really exciting. So the financial health of people buying homes right now is actually the best that it's been. And that's a small part due to COVID. And then something that we found super interesting when looking at financing, homeowners, you'd be surprised how many of them really do want to finance a project. So this is actually pulled from data that Modernize puts together every year after surveying, I think it's around 6,000 homeowners, where really we're seeing that a large percentage, almost 75% of homeowners want to fund at least some piece of their project. And that doesn't always mean that they want to, fund the entire roof replacement, but a lot of the times homeowners aren't willing, or ready to shell out, let's say $13,000 on a roof replacement, right off the bat. So allowing homeowners to have options for financing really just gives you greater freedom to offer them different options for the project.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat. I mean, 3 and 4. And, we get the opportunity to speak with a lot of contractors, and sometimes you feel that there's this kind of preconceived notion that, if you've always worked with cash buyers, retail buyers, you don't need financing. I think people need to stop and kind of challenge that for a second, because I think people would be surprised at how many people would actually leverage, even if they have the money, just pay it outright, provided that, we're putting the right offers in front of them.
Absolutely. And I think you're completely right on there. Most homeowners are just looking for the lowest cost of ownership. That means keeping $13,000 in cash in their brokerages and letting that, play in their market versus having to pull that out and pay for a roof. That might be the best option for them financially. So options is really all that matters. And really why people are using Hearth and utilizing us as a platform is because we do have competitive payment options. So really, it allows customers, so homeowners, to break their projects into any type of affordable monthly payment that works best for them. And for a contractor, the biggest win with Hearth versus traditional financing is that we're not charging dealer fees. So contractors don't have to worry about, paying anywhere between, 5 to 15% of the job in fees. Really, contractors get to keep 100% of their profits. And we're looking at keeping contractors cash flow positive as possible and really focused on those higher profit margins. And then other parts of our toolkit really is we have Hearth Pay, which allows contractors to just collect payment from homeowners faster and digitally. And then I think this is something that I really love about Hearth, where we can work with contractors of all sizes. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran in the space, you've been working for 13 years, or you're a company that just started out a year ago. You can get started very quickly with Hearth and start offering homeowners, monthly payment options right away. And then I think something that, Mark, you guys are focused on a lot as well is really making sure that we're here for our contractors. I think in the space, there's so many companies that aren't focused on the long-term success. And we're really making sure that our contractors, one, they don't just sign up for Hearth, but that they're actually using us and seeing a strong ROI on the product.
Yeah, and we've seen that. You guys have nice marketing resources, everything from banners to calculators and sell sheets to make having conversations about financing easy. And I think what I like most about what you just mentioned here on the slide is I think you guys refer to it as profit protection financing, which is really interesting. And, you really protect your bottom line by having that fixed outlay of cash. Hearth costs you X per year. And, there you have it. That you're able to offer something very enticing to your customers, lots of options based on their, credit ratings and whatnot. So it's pretty
Absolutely. neat. No, that's a good point. And really with Hearth, it's offering them payment options. And this is so they can go around and actually, begin to work on those projects that we talked about, the ones that they saw during COVID. We have a ton of different loan option amounts. So it could be anywhere between, $1,000 loans to $100,000 loan if someone wants to put in, their dream backyard. And then the term rates can be anywhere between, 2 to 12 years. And the nice thing is we do service, the entire FICO band. So all the way down to a 500 FICO score. And then our interest rates start as low as 4.99%. So we're really looking to help contractors service every single homeowner they possibly can and open up their sales funnel ultimately. And then, as we said, and I think you mentioned this earlier, which is such a good point, that it's so important to be offering financing to every single customer. Something we really stress with all the contractors who use us is that you never want to assume that a customer, doesn't want or need financing. We don't know that. So we encourage every contractor to offer financing on every single sales job, sales appointment or estimate they run. And the contractors that we work with and the companies we work with who do this consistently through their sales process are able to see a 17% lift in their close rate into sale. And they can actually see a 30% lift in their average ticket size, which, when we're talking about, profit protection is huge. If we're able to increase average ticket size over time, the company can, really take that additional profit and start to grow their revenue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with those two metrics alone, there's an ROI on the solution, right? On your tech. right? 30 some odd percent increase in average ticket or
Absolutely.
17% bump in close. It's kind of a
Totally.
no-brainer.
I think the really exciting thing with Hearth is that even if you're funding one loan with us, typically you're already paying back for the entire annual membership with Hearth. It really takes one loan, which I think for me is super exciting, especially that funding that one loan can only take, one sales appointment. So if you're offering it on every appointment, we can start to see the data over time, just see tremendous value in the product, which is exciting. And then getting into, how financing options work. Most contractors, I think, are familiar with financing and understand, especially how traditional financing works. And I think for me, I speak with contractors every day, and the biggest gripe they have with traditional financing is really having to pay those per loan dealer fees. Those are usually 7% and up on every single project. And I think with Hearth, the biggest, call out here is that there is no loan dealer fees. Because the homeowner is getting funded directly, the contractor steps out and doesn't have to worry about paying a dealer fee on the project. I think, as I mentioned earlier, the FICO score is also exciting because we can actually service all homeowners and there's no contractor requirement. So as I mentioned, whether you've been in business for, a year, you've been in business for 13 years, you can offer financing through the Hearth software. And I think something that is super important in the sales process, as we talk about layering financing within the sales process for contractors, is that there is no impact on clients' credit score when they fill out a pre-qualification through Hearth. So what the pre-qualification page does, when a contractor sends the pre-qualification to a homeowner interested in financing, it takes that homeowner 2 minutes to fill out the pre-qual. They can see what type of monthly payment options are even available to them based on their financial profile. And that doesn't touch their credit score. They have no impact, and really no obligation to borrow as well. So it just gives contractors more flexibility to understand, okay, what can we even sell into this homeowner, which is really exciting from a sales perspective.
Yeah, I can imagine that being very powerful on the spot or in a sales conversation. At the same time, I'm curious to know if you see any contractors leveraging this particular tool as like a marketing feature, if you will, right? So sending out an email blast to my database of either customers or prospects that's sort of sitting there stagnant, just sending out, hey, have a look and see what you could get approved for or what you pre-qualify for, and maybe take advantage of that home remodel that you've been putting off for so long. Is that something you see people doing? Or
absolutely. I think that the financing link or talking about financing can be really impactful in two ways to kind of help with leads that might be stagnant. It can be really great in a rehash campaign. So let's say you met with a bunch of homeowners and you kind of got the price objection at the end. Oh, we're just not sure if we really want to move forward. And those leads are kind of just sitting in your CRM. Offering a financing link can be a really effective way to move the needle there. I also think that it can also be super effective when before a sales rep actually even goes out onto appointment. A lot of the times our most successful companies will actually send a financing link with the confirmation for the appointment. So the homeowner can actually fill out the pre-qualification before the salesperson gets there. So before the salesperson arrives at the door, they know exactly what the budget, guardrails will be for the homeowner on the project, which from a sales perspective is, incredible because you already know exactly what the homeowner can actually spend and what they feel comfortable spending from a budget on the project.
Absolutely. And I mean, the creditors do that all the time. The big banks with their credit card offers, they're sending, hey, you've been pre-approved for X. People are more inclined to take advantage of those offers when there's very, very low risk, or it's you're receiving something that's very, very enticing. So exactly. Yeah, I can imagine that when you're sending that out and it's, hey, it doesn't affect your credit, takes 2 seconds, check it out, people will be inclined to do it. Absolutely. And then your conversation can revolve around what's your comfort zone on the monthly payment side of things, as opposed to talking top line, hey, this is a $15,000, $20,000 project. It's kind of harder to digest than how's $250 a month sound?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a good point. When you're a contractor in the home and you're looking at a homeowner who wants, really beautiful kitchen remodel done, they want to put brand new quartz countertops in, they want to completely rip out all the cabinets, redo it. And you're looking at, a $20,000 project. When your sales rep sits down with the homeowner and says the words $20,000 versus the words, $215 a month, I think the homeowner 9 times out of 10 is going to feel much more comfortable with it broken down into monthly payments. And I think freezing it as monthly payments as well, especially for, when you look at all these millennials buying homes and, starting to see Gen Z buying homes, they're so comfortable with monthly payments that terminology really resonates with them.
If the real estate market you're in is anything like where I'm located, I think millennials are kind of second guessing the notion of ever becoming homeowners because costs are just so astronomically high. So yeah, I would agree that they've got to get comfortable with monthly payments for sure.
Totally. And whether that's monthly payments, on their mortgage or that is monthly payments on their home improvement projects. And if we are seeing millennials, buy older homes, because maybe that's, what they are qualified for, they are going to want to do a lot of home renovation. And so they are meeting with a lot of contractors to, take, especially I live in Austin, and I would say Austin's probably, very similar to cities like Austin, Nashville, Boise, actually, where you see a lot of these, smaller, older cities really becoming gentrified. And you see a lot of millennials buying, these older homes and going through and just ripping them out and putting in a lot of these, modern conveniences. And I think when contractors are, going out and selling to these generations, monthly payments will be the way to do so. And then kind of getting into really the meat and potatoes on how Hearth works on the product side. When a contractor is in the home, basically, as I mentioned, they're going to send the pre-qualification form to the homeowner. And this can be sent pre-appointment. It can be sent and actually filled out during the sales appointment or post-appointment. The contractor can send it out via text, email, however is most comfortable through the Hearth app. From there, the homeowner gets the pre-qualification form. And as I mentioned earlier, 2 minutes to fill out, no impact on their credit with no obligation to borrow. And I think something that I do like about the pre-qual form is that it is branded. So we put, company name, we put company logo. So the homeowner feels super comfortable knowing that this is all going through, for example, on this slide, Bob's Roofing. And this is their pre-qualification form. And once the homeowner fills out the pre-qual with their information, from there, they're going to see all of the different options from our 14 lenders. So our lenders essentially are kind of are bidding to get this homeowner's business. So really, they're looking to give the homeowner the best possible deal. And with the pre-qualification, it breaks it down into, the range for the loan amount the homeowner's pre-qualified for, the monthly payment, interest, and then it will also talk about the terms. So homeowners can go through and decide, what's going to be the best option for me and my family based on monthly payment and based on the term as well. For a contractor, this is the best part, is really that contractors can actually track where homeowners are within this process. So once you send off that pre-qual, you're not just, losing that pre-qualification form in the dust, no idea where the homeowner is. Within the Hearth dashboard, you can actually see where all of your clients are throughout the process. So you can actually track client status through every single step to fund. And really what this helps do is allow contractors to follow up efficiently. So let's say they have a homeowner, they went out, they advised the homeowner on, a new shingle roof tear off and replacement. They sent the homeowner the pre-qualification. The homeowner filled out the pre-qualification. Homeowner saw all their lend options, and maybe the homeowner didn't click on a lender and fill out the application yet. A really great thing that a contractor can do for an easy follow-up, call the homeowner, be like, hey, I saw that you got a couple different options for the $13,000, project we spoke about. Did any of those look compelling to you? Homeowner's like, oh yeah, the one for $150 a month looks great. Homeowner then is reminded, they go on, they fill out the application with the lender directly. Once they're funded, they pay the contractor and the work begins. And I think what happens a lot of the time when the homeowner is actually funded, the contractor gets notified sometimes even before the homeowner. So what they can do is just shoot the homeowner a message and be like, hey, saw that you were funded for the project. You can at that point ask for the down payment to go ahead, buy the materials and get started on the roof right away.
Nice. Yes, I see this as being something that helps shorten the length of the sales cycle, and also just from a cash flow standpoint, right? I'm sure
totally.
Homeowners, once they're funded, they're less reluctant to hold on to the cash until project completion or.
Totally. And I think a lot of the times the fund only takes anywhere from like 24 to 72 hours for the homeowner to get funded. So it's a very quick turnaround. And then from there, contractor is paid, and it really turns a financing deal into a cash deal. Because since the homeowner is funded directly, the payment will come into the contractor, cash, check, card, however the contractor typically gets paid, and then they can get started on the job right away. And then this is just an example of what one of the tracking forms looks like within the dashboard. So to the right, you can see exactly what each homeowner is in the process, whether the pre-qualification, they're not qualified, or they're pre-qualified. You get a range of where their FICO score sits. And then also just some ideas on, the lowest offer that they saw, the requested amount that they saw, and then also the highest offer they saw. And again, this is just good ammo for your sales team as a contractor, where you can go in and actually start to maybe sell more high quality material or additional project add-ons. And that is where we see that 30% increase in ticket size really come to play. Some exciting pieces within, the Hearth tool is that we also have the ability to send digital contracts. So this is one of our newest features where contractors can go in and actually send branded templates with contracts to homeowners. And these are digital contracts that pretty much just talk about, project size, project length, how much we're going to pay for it, and then also just different dates of completion. And it really just helps round out the professional look of talking about money with homeowners, and can help provide those contracts. Because, there are still a lot of contractors who are using pen and paper, and nothing wrong with that. Those contracts are great as well, but this is just another option where that way contractors aren't having to worry about, faxing, going back to their office, scanning in individual contracts. It just allows more time to worry about other things and, sell more product, ultimately, do more jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's digital, it's online, it's in the cloud. You don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. You send it off, the homeowner signs it, and then that way you and your crew can focus on doing the work and instead of having to spend the time on the, minutia of collecting signatures and then having your office staff has to waste time, scanning and filing. It's all kept right within the Hearth dashboard, and it's really easy to export as well into any of, your CRMs or any files that you keep traditionally.
Mm-hmm. Question for you, Sarah. Do you guys play nice with any other industry players or, technology providers in terms of like integrations or things like that?
Yeah. So we don't do integrations right now with CRMs. It's something that we're looking into, but we have really easy ability to do like eye pop-ups within pretty much any technology. So we're able to just do a pop-out screen where then a contractor can go and fill out the pre-qualification with the homeowner and then pop the information right back in.
Right. So basically that's your entry point into the system. It's just a simple data entry on the front end, whether contractor does it, homeowner does it.
Yep. And it takes 2 minutes. The process is so easy that it's very quick for the contractor to send it, very quick for the homeowner to fill it out. And with the dashboard, the contractor can access the dashboard through their mobile app on their phone. We have a tablet version or online. So the admin, let's see, the owner wants to take a look at, the Hearth dashboard and understand, where they're at for the month. He can log in online and actually see exactly which sales reps are filling out the, highest amount of pre-qualification forms, which sales reps are funding the most amount of loans. And it can create, a great competitive energy and allows owners of these companies to see, how is my sales team doing? Do we have wide adoption of this? Do we need additional training for this tool? Really, the insight on the dashboard is super helpful from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I would agree. I've definitely am a big proponent of technology, and we use tons of software here, and we like nice, clean UIs, user interface, good experience, and I think from a reporting standpoint, like you say, there's a lot of data in there that can get maybe addictive for some if you're competitive and you got a good team.
Absolutely. If you're a data-driven contractor, just as you mentioned, the data that you get from the Hearth platform is unparalleled. You can get a really good idea on like the types of homeowners that you're meeting with from a financial perspective. And you can get a really good idea on average ticket size. You can see, okay, are my sales reps going out and, they're just selling the bare minimum, or are they going out there and trying to, sell really our premium products and, our nicest services. And it just gives you insight, and that's the most valuable, as you well know. Sometimes I think we can all get a little lost in the data, but using it to inform strategy, especially on the sales side, is great. And another data point actually is looking at Hearth Pay, which is one of the tools within the software. And really what this is a way to get paid for jobs. So you can request payments on the go to homeowners. You can actually collect your cash very quickly. The homeowner can pay you through Hearth Pay, and then you just would deposit it in your checking or savings account. And I think the biggest benefit in my mind for this is, time. Similar to the contracts, it's really a waste of time to go door to door, having to grab checks from homeowners after the job is completed. By using Hearth Pay, you can get paid right away on the project, deposit it into your account, and then, move on to the next job. You mentioned this as well, and I think this is something super valuable, is really the marketing tools that we build. So what this is within the Hearth dashboard, we actually just pretty much have out of the box marketing tools that can be put directly on your website. So we have website banners. We also have, flyers. We have the ability for the contractor to pretty much just post directly to their Facebook or Instagram that they're offering financing. And then something that's really valuable, I believe, and I've seen work the best on contractors' websites, is this payment calculator. And really what this does is it's a tool that allows people who are coming onto your website to get an idea of what their monthly payment option will look like for that type of project. And these pieces of marketing collateral can also be used to help drive additional leads to your website, especially when a homeowner is Googling, looking for, let's say, a roofing contractor who offers financing in Austin, Texas. Because you have that financing language on your website, it might just help you get, additional lead traffic to your website and to these, lead funnels.
Yeah, definitely. I think, there are many contractors who will reference the notion of, hey, we offer financing, but I think this last component here, where you have the lead capture, if you will, that's sitting within a blog post on a sidebar, visible, just piques someone's curiosity. Yeah, I'm curious what that would look like on a monthly. Let's fill it out. That's really interesting. Totally. And I think, big call out on the bottom here is we saw 38% higher funded project for those who just had the banner on their site. And that's a combination of course, people who are putting the banner are really adopting us and using us on every sales pitch, integrating us with their process. But it's also because homeowners are interested in monthly payments. So seeing that additional banner might actually be the difference between a homeowner calling you guys up versus maybe your competitor. So it just helps drive additional leads as well. And then this was a case study that we did somewhat recently on a roofing company. And this is a good example of someone who does have that calculator on their site. And really what we were able to see is they've actually funded about 43 homeowners and have almost seen about $500,000 in additional funded loan volume. And that's just based off of about 210 homeowners who are qualified. So it goes to show that when you are qualifying homeowners, 43 out of 210 is a really quite high percentage of those who fund, which goes to show that when you are offering this on every single job, it's really just icing on the cake. You'll see those additional projects come through from homeowners who are just looking for financing in particular and trust you, trust your brand, and feel comfortable with monthly payment options. Once a contractor comes on board, as I mentioned, there's really no barriers to entry. There's no minimum requirements to join in terms of annual revenue or years in business. We want to help contractors of all size, all across the United States, close more jobs and get higher ticket size.
once account registration, it typically takes about 2 to 3 minutes to actually set up the account. From there, we do have contractors attend, a 45-minute training webinar. And really this webinar is super valuable in just understanding how to use the tool and how to layer it into your sales process. But we do also have, our customer success team on the other side who's there to pretty much help contractors all along the process with financing and answer any questions they have about individual homeowners and their loans, or pretty much any piece of the Hearth tool. From joining to your first fund, it could be, as quick as about 24 hours, dependent, of course, on how soon you go out and actually start selling.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then some pricing that we have on our end is typically I would say most contractors go with our pro plan, and it's $1,300 for the year. We are doing a special pricing discount for your contractor base where we are knocking $250 off of both our pro and elite plans. And I think it's important to keep in mind this covers you as a contractor for the entire year. And from there, you can offer unlimited loans. And as we mentioned, at the beginning, that means even if you're only funding, one loan with us for, let's say, $6,000, you're already seeing a very strong ROI right off the bat.
Yeah. That initial slide you shared with the bump in close rate, bump in average ticket price. I mean, that says it all. Exactly.
So if you're seeing a 30% raise in your ticket, that's what we're pumped about, because that means that that's sustainable more for the long term. And typically what we're seeing is about a 14x ROI for pro, and then elite obviously is typically for, our larger mid-market enterprise companies, but also work well for companies of all sizes. And that's typically about a 21.3x ROI. And then kind of the last page here, and then I'll let you guys get back to your day, is really where you can learn more. So we have a great partnership over with Mark and his team. And what we've done is actually built out a form for them directly. So you can go on to this link right here, which we'll also send out. And you'll come into our team and we'll be able to advise you on where financing can fit in your process. And if it makes sense for you to, use Hearth as a tool. And then all of my contact information is right here on the right. Again, my name's Sarah Kreps. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. That's my job.
Awesome. Well, great job, Sarah. That was a great presentation. You've done a really good walkthrough of Hearth and the benefits of leveraging your technology in order to offer financing to customers, which everyone should be doing, as we've just been explaining for the past 30 minutes. Yes. To me, takeaways, if I was to try to kind of summarize it, you've done a great job of tying it all together, but ultimately very low friction, low barrier. You get signed up within no time. Have your first funded loan within a matter of a day, potentially.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have been in business for many years. You don't have to have massive revenue. It's accessible to everyone. Yep. Relationships with over 14 lenders are able to offer rates to people based on where they're at on the FICO spectrum. And, helps you to increase your ticket price, your closing, and just gives people more options.
It's low-hanging fruit. Contractors are going out every day and selling a lot of different homeowners. Homeowners want options. And, Hearth at this point, we're working with close to 13,000 contractors, and every single one of those contractors are able to give their homeowners multiple options for payment, whether that's cash, check, financing. It really allows homeowners to feel more comfortable and ultimately helps you stand above the competition when you're able to give them multiple options.
Nice. Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for listening. Sarah, again, really appreciate you putting this presentation together for us. It was a great Tools of the Trade episode. And if anyone has any questions, like Sarah mentioned, please don't be shy to get in touch with her team and take advantage of that offer that they've put together for us. If you've enjoyed this video, please do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.